Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for another process video. Today I am putting together the week of October 10th, and I'm really excited to share this one with you. I did a lot of stamping and kind of playing around with embellishments, and this should be a fun process. So the first thing that I'm doing here is I stamped out a label onto white cardstock. And then I pulled out my Ali Edwards Time for Leaves stamp set. And I've been getting a lot of use out of this stamp set. You've seen me use it. I think you saw me use it in my last process video, and I've used it in my gratitude mini book this month, and it's just been really versatile and awesome for this season. And then I stamped using the Ali Edwards Crafters ink in the color Pendleton. This ink is so saturated and beautiful. When I first started using this ink, I was always pressing too hard into the ink pad and it came out kind of fuzzy. So what you should know when you're using these inks is that you can just use a very light touch and it will get the ink just very evenly on your stamp, and it comes out so crisp and clear. I love it. It's awesome. You do have to wait a little bit longer for it to dry on some surfaces. I didn't have a problem with it on regular cardstock, but I feel like if you're using StazOn ink or maybe some of the Clearly Kelly inks, it does take a little bit longer to dry, but the color payoff is just so worth it. So here I'm using some Gossamer Blue stamps. These kind of remind me of washi tape strips. So there's that diagonal stripe that I used, and then I came in here with some polka dots, which I love polka dots, and got to kind of play off of that deep red color along with the black, and it just kind of ties everything together. And then I'm stamping my date using the Becky Higgins roller date stamp. Just going to adhere those down and kind of tuck the leaves underneath the label. And then I'm pulling out some rub-ons. I don't use rub-ons a lot because I just kind of forget that I have them. Sometimes they get put away in my stash and I just don't pull them out very much. But I found these ones. I think these came in the October kit. I'm pretty sure it was October of this year, or maybe October of last year. I'm not completely sure, but I think it was this year. And so there was one rub-on that said October that I placed at the top, and then there was a leaf and a little heart, and just added a little bit of a brown gold color just to kind of contrast and offset that red that I had added in there. And then I'm using a Kelly Purkey card from her monthly kit, and I used this also in my in an earlier October spread. These grid layout cards are kind of fun to play around with. At first I didn't really know what to do with them, but just playing around with some stamps that fit in the boxes has been pretty fun. So this one I stamped in the neighborhood, which came in the Around Town stamp set. I'm still hopeful that stamp set is going to come out for Black Friday or something because it sold out so fast. But that's definitely a favorite stamp set of mine. I find myself kind of grabbing for it all the time. And then this detail stamp is from a Feed Your Craft stamp set. And then these boxes are from a Studio Calico stamp set, and I just wanted to add a few boxes so that I could list out just a few things that were going on this month. For me, journaling is sometimes a challenge when I'm working on Project Life, so anytime that I can kind of make a list to journal things out, it just makes it so much easier for me, and I can get it done so much faster. And then I had one more open box at the bottom left-hand corner, so I added in a little flare piece from Feed Your Craft that says currently. And then on this food photo, I kept it very simple. I just stamped Bon Appetit from the Clearly Kelly food coma stamp set. I just stamped that right on the photo, right in the middle. And then I have this photo that I had taken of my desk and my gratitude traveler's notebook that I was working on. So I went in with my arts and crafts planner set from Clearly Kelly, and I stamped Maker's Gotta Make along with those little scissors right there. And then since it was kind of a busy photo, I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to add in my journaling. I didn't want to write directly on the photo because I felt like it was going to get a little bit lost. So I decided to journal onto a label. And I originally thought that my label was going to go on the top right there. And so I started writing out my journaling, but then when I had placed it down afterwards, I felt like it was just a little bit too top heavy on that photo, and it really bothered me, so I decided to just restamp it, write out my journaling again, and stick it at the bottom of the photo. It's just so much easier for me to kind of fix it right away than letting it bother me later on, so I just decided to kind of redo this little label and stick it at the bottom. And then on that photo of Nugget, I added in a little Feed Your Craft flare. That's that little bone. And then for this photo of flowers, I thought I had a great idea here that I was going to add on some Felicity Jane washi tape. It's this really pretty white washi tape, and I wanted to stamp Grow from the Garden Planner Clearly Kelly stamp set. But it was so slick that it was just going to wipe right off. So I knew that wasn't going to work. I thought maybe I would add a piece of washi tape on top and hope that it kind of came through, but then you couldn't see Grow. So I decided to go ahead and stamp a label on white cardstock and then cut that out, stamp Grow on top of that, and then adhere it on top of the washi tape and just let the washi tape add a little bit of texture and a little bit of a background to that label. So it ended up working out. Sometimes things happen as happy accidents. You kind of go with the flow, and yeah, overall I'm happy with how that looks there. And then on the bottom left-hand photo of a cafe that we went to, I decided to spell out the name of the cafe. It was called Cafe Blue, and I'm using the Green Point alphabet stamps from Kelly Purkey. I love that these are outlined so you can see that wood grain in the background, but it's also nice and bold, like the thickness of the letters themselves are pretty big, so it doesn't get lost in the photo, so that's really nice. And then I thought I was going to add that flare piece, but I ended up switching that out for a different coffee cup later on. I wasn't sure how I wanted to write out cafe. Since it was called Cafe Blue, I wanted to add cafe in there. I'm thinking I might actually go back and pull out some alphabet stickers, but I wasn't thinking about that at the time, so I just decided to handwrite it onto a post-it note. And I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I am not a fan of my handwriting when it's used as like a label or a title or anything like that. I add my own journaling into like regular journaling cards, but then just for some reason when it comes to a title, I don't know, I have a very strong aversion to it, so hopefully that changes one day in the future, but that's kind of where I am with it right now. And then I added that leaf Feed Your Craft flare at the top, and I switched out that little coffee cup in the bottom left-hand corner. And I think the last few embellishments that I added here are these little enamel dots from Freckled Fawn. They just come in a lot of really fun colors, and these colors worked really well with the colors of the spread, so I just kind of spread them throughout and kind of sporadically place them around my photos and journaling cards. You can see I'm kind of really slow putting these down because I was kind of looking over my spread at this time and thinking about if I wanted to add anything else, and if this looked complete to me, and I was pretty happy with it. So I decided to just leave it here with these few enamel dots and call it done. So that'll do it for this week's spread. Thank you again so much for stopping by and watching this process video. I have a couple of really fun videos planned for the near future, so hopefully you'll come back and check those out. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you again soon.